right, black and white sports supporters. Well, don't you worry. Don't you fret. If you are in the communist state of California, don't concern yourself. Gavin Newsom, the governor, he's on the job. He's on the job. You're eating at a restaurant in San Francisco, boom, homeless man poops right in front of you. That's right. You're outside dining, boom, he drops a deuce right there in front of you. Loud and proud. You're in a department store, you're standing there. All the thugs and the hoodlums come running in, ransack the place, loot it, steal the hell out of everything, all just this much shy of a felony, and all run out the door. Nothing to see here. Please move along. Carjacking? Yeah, it could happen in California. You better believe it. You're a parent. You're pushing a kid in a stroller down an alley. Car runs through, runs you over. You go flipping. Stroller goes flipping. Don't worry, they caught the guy. Don't worry, they let him out. They let him out. So, and throw in the fact that, Gavin Newsom ruined every business, every mom and pop business, every independently owned business, every business period during the pandemic, closed everything down, seen the biggest mass exodus anybody's ever seen out of any state ever. Never mind the fact this guy is still running a shadow campaign to be the Democratic nominee for the president of the United States. And yeah, he's running for president, folks. You're not going on Hannity and debating Ron DeSantis. DeSantis, the first loser? Is that what we're calling him? The guy that's going to be the runner-up? The first guy in first place of Loserville? I don't know. Sounds like some Dr. Seuss shit. Loserville. So, let's talk about Gavin Newsom, because when you go to a toy store, if you go into Walmart, you go into, I almost said Target, but we know better, at least for the people that are watching this channel. You go in one of these department stores, you don't have to worry. You don't have to fret. Gavin Newsom is on the job. He is on the job of regulating the toys in that toy store. That's right. He wants you to know, in California, by God, we're going to offer gender-neutral toys. We're going to, because we know as a parent that is such a high priority on your list. Not getting cracked in the head with a beer bottle. Not getting robbed. Not watching a grown-ass man pedaling down the road on a bicycle butt naked during an LGBTQ LMNOP parade for all kids to see. We're not worried about none of that. We're worried about toys in a toy store being gender neutral, and by God, if they're not, he's going to start fining the toy stores or the department stores that are carrying said toys, because this is the kind of thing that a man running for president, if you are a voter in the United States of America, you need to be concerning yourself about. By God, are toys gender neutral? God, it's such a high priority on my list. Economy, psh, inflation, psh, gas prices, psh. I'm not worried about a border. There's terrorists coming through the border. Psh. I need my toys to be gender neutral. By God. Man, I'm so glad that somebody with such great hair is out there advocating for all the people with pink and purple hair that don't know whether or not they got a vagina or a penis. Oh, let's bring these kids up right. This is Outkick. While Californians should be used to having bizarre laws on the books, toy retailers, beware, they're coming for you, especially if you're not offering gender-neutral toys. A California law signed by Governor Gavin Newsom goes into effect next month. After being signed into law in 2021, it requires that department stores with more than 500 employees that are located in California and sell, quote, childcare items or toys to have a gender-neutral section. This is just bizarre, even by incredibly high bar for bizarreness set by the ultra-woke progressives. Wasting any time legislating gender adherence of toy sections is wild when there's a city practically drowning in human feces. Just told you. Homeless man might just stop and drop a deuce right as you're walking out of the department store. Yeah. If the toys don't scar your kids, that will. Unless, of course, a communist dictator rolls into town, in which case it's spotless and lined with Chinese flags. Quote, we need to stop stigmatizing what's acceptable for certain genders and just let kids be kids, he said. What? All right. My hope is this bill encourages more business across California and the U.S. This is what you can look forward to if this tard takes office, to avoid reinforcing harmful and outdated stereotypes. Wow. Newsom doesn't get that toys are gendered because they tend to appeal to one gender or another, not the other way around. Barbies are marketed towards girls because that's what young girls typically prefer to play with. The same goes with Hot Wheel cars for boys. And by the way, if girls decide they want to play with Hot Wheels or G.I. Joes or whatever little boy toy they decide to play with, it does not mean they want to be a boy. It means they're going through a tomboy phase and wearing overalls and wanting to go fishing, which is a phase that every little girl, almost all of them, go through. It doesn't mean they want to change their gender to be a little boy. I'm just throwing that out there. If it made sense to go with gender-neutral advertising for toy companies, they would do it. They want to sell as many toys as possible. If that was the way to do it, they'd all be in. It has nothing to do with, quote, reinforcing harmful or outdated stereotypes. These people are so weird. You know, I follow like Clown World on Twitter. X, whatever it's called now. And a couple of these other places that show these different videos of these nutcases, like grown-ass men dressed like women and all this kind of thing, and you're like, oh my God, okay. Make asylums great again. You know, I watch that and I just think to myself, you get up every day, and if something like this law isn't passed, you're triggered by it. That makes me wonder where your priorities are as a person on a day-to-day basis. I mean, are you really holding down a job? Are you really paying your bill, or is some state or government having to float your ass because you're concerned about all kinds of things hardworking Americans don't give a rip about? Just saying that. Anyone who thinks otherwise is just being difficult to score progressive brownie points. Plus, nothing is stopping a little girl from playing with a Nerf gun or a little fellow with My Little Pony toys. So what's the point of a gender-neutral section anyway? Yeah, I mean, in America, the kids should be able to, I guess, walk up and pick the toy they want to pick up. There isn't one. The whole thing, like so many other woke ideas, is strictly performative. Look no further than the penalty for not adhering to it, $250 or a $500 fine. That's a drop in the bucket for major retailers, and they're the only ones who even fall under the purview of this joke of a law. So really the law is just another virtue signal. Because, I mean, there's not that many mom and pop stores, etc., if they even still exist in California, that's going to have 500 employees. So it's not going to fall under that anyway. And does a typical Walmart have 500 employees even? You know, in a town of 100,000? I don't even know if they've got 500 employees. I would doubt it in any one Walmart. That seems like a hell of a lot of employees to me. I don't know. I mean, I did used to work corporate had 1,000 employees, but I think we were the third or fourth biggest employer in all of the county in our area here in Texas. So I just think there's a lot of department stores that's not going to follow this anyway, and it looks like another Gavin Newsom special of, let me hold up this piece of paper, let me show how brave I am, and let me score the points, but not a lot's happening. I guess my issue with the whole situation is, why would you even consider this as a priority? Why would this flash through your brain skull as a priority to even think about, to sit down and sign this into law? Who's presenting this anyway? Who's lobbying for this to become a law and set in front of you anyway for you to even consider? Make asylums great again. I'm telling you. That may be one of the biggest issues our country's got right now is our state of our mental health is whacked. I mean, it is truly, truly off. There was a reason why those places existed. I understand back in the day, a lot of them were real shady and they were run poorly and all that. But bring them back, regulate them correctly, keep them sanitary, make sure nobody's doing any weird experiments on anybody, and open the jokers back up. Because we got a whole shit ton of people that need to be put back in them. Because you're having to go around these people on a daily basis, and they're making decisions, and they're running for political offices locally and nationally when they're not mentally competent to be doing it. They're twisted. What is it? Obi-Wan Kenobi said they're twisted and evil. I mean, you know. Tell me what you think. Is Gavin Newsom, are you going to vote for Gavin Newsom if he runs for president? If he ends up being the Democratic nominee, are you running out there? Gavin Newsom's running? What, Trump? Gavin? Are you going to be shaking? Like, I don't know. Gavin's got great hair. Yeah, Trump, bitch. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. I promise you I'm not drunk and or high making this video. I'm high on life. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.